What's going on, faithful? It's your boy Mike from the Nothing But Niners crew. Here to bring you guys a great overreaction show, man. This is only going to be our second time being able to do one of these after a win this year. And what a win it was. The 49ers came out in strong fashion and put a pounding during the last battle of the Bay. But before we get down to all that, I know you guys know, but I have to say it, guys. Check out the website, guys, www.nothingbutniners.com. It's going to lead you to all of our social media pages. We have Twitter, we have Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook. All the handles are there. It's going to lead you to this YouTube page here. Make sure you guys hit subscribe, hit the little bell so you know when we're going live. You guys can get the chat room talking like it already is. And then even, guys, you can see a bunch of great articles from excellent writers, guys. We have a lot of guys putting in a lot of good hard work for you guys. You aren't going to want to miss anything that these guys are bringing to you. And last but certainly not least, our podcast is on there. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google Play, SoundCloud, all of those different avenues. We are bringing you guys a ton of content from all over the place. We're just coming at you like the 49ers attacking that Raiders defense. Bang, 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 bang. Anyway, I got my man Dilly here. What's going on, Dylan? How you doing, baby?
What's up, man? Glad to be here after a win, that's for sure. I don't think I've been on one of the reaction shows in a while. That's not just because I only come on the wins. That's just because I always find myself a little busy after the games. But I'm definitely glad to be back on one.
Yeah, man. Look, let's go ahead and talk about it. I don't have an itinerary. I don't know if I want to go with the defense, who I was very impressed with. I don't know if I want to go with the offense, who I was very impressed with. I don't know where to start, man. So I'm going to give it to you. Give me your – yeah, I know. I'm going to give it to you right away. Give me your biggest, most shocking thing about this game. Like, if you could pick one thing that probably shocked you the most, and I know there's probably three that are tied, but give me one thing that shocked you the most about this game.
Huh. Okay. I got two that I want to mention.
See?
One for the offense, one for defense. So I'm going to start with defense. I think this guy, and I've talked about it in the chat, so I think you already know where I'm going with this. This guy has been getting a lot of flack for a while now, and he's been very low-key stepping up his game and playing at a pretty good level lately, and that's Arik Armstead. If you guys haven't looked at the stats, he is before this game, I believe he was at third on the team tackle list, and second was Jaquiski Tartt by not too much, so I would not be surprised if he's at second now. Now, Fred Warner leads the pack by far, and it's not even close. But I think that Arik Armstead had, and without looking at all the stats, I would say this was probably the best game I've seen from him this season, and I think he's just been progressively improving over the field or over the season. Now, with the offensive one, of course, it is Nick Mullens, but it's a very specific thing about Nick Mullens. A lot of the times when you see these young quarterbacks that start their very first game, they have a safety blanket and they only throw to one area. Nick Mullens spread the ball to, last time I checked, and it could have increased from the last time I checked, 8 receivers throughout the game, and that was just at like halftime that I saw that. That's very impressive. And somebody else mentioned the pocket presence. Nick Mullens played as if he had been playing in the league for a little while.
It was so impressive to see, man. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And you know what the coolest thing was to me about watching Nick Mullens afterwards? He was so cool in the game. He was so level-headed. And then afterwards, when he's doing the sideline report, he's cracking. His voice is – the emotions were finally setting in, and it was so nice to see this young man enjoying his moment, man. I mean, you see him on the set afterwards on NFL Network talking to the whole crew up there with, you know, Michael Irvin and all the guys, and he's just like, he's like enjoying it. It feels so good. I mean, I cheer for underdogs like crazy, even on our team. I feel like our team are underdogs, but I'm the guy that is pulling for Kendrick Bourne. I'm the guy that's pulling for Quentin Patton. You know what I mean? Like, those are my kind of guys. Nick Mullens is the ultimate underdog on this 49ers roster, and he went out there and put up a hell of a game, man. So let's get down to one of the biggest things that we're going to hear all week long. Who is our QB2? QB2, QB2, QB2. Who you giving it to, man? Huh? We're going to overreact right now. We're not going to break down the film or anything right now. We're going to just go ahead and talk about it. We're going to declare it right now. Who you running with for the rest of the year, baby? Give it to me.
I think it's impossible. No, it's not impossible. But I think the logical thing is to continue with Nick Mullens. I'm not saying that is what will happen because he might give it right back to CJ. Who knows? I mean, it could have just been the fact that CJ wasn't healthy enough to play, and once he gets healthy enough, he'll be back in there. One thing that we need to do when looking at this game, and I'm going to pause the little overreaction, it was the Raiders. It was the Raiders. Now, that's not to discredit Nick Mullens because he played a great game. I've already hyped him up a lot in this podcast already. But let's put it this way, I would not be surprised to see CJ Beathard starting next week. I would like it to be Nick Mullens, though, until he proves me wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's how everyone is going to be feeling right now. He just was poised. At halftime, they did this little – this thing had me really excited when they did this at halftime. They were showing where he would drop back and how long it was taking him to get rid of the ball. 2.1 seconds, 2.4 seconds, 2.0 seconds. And that's what we've been missing. Kyle Shanahan is all about the quick hit or getting the ball out in rhythm and leading the guys. And for better or worse, he was getting the ball out quick, man. Oh, it was just it's what my heart needed to see, man. I was excited to see it. I was happy for him. I was worried a little bit during the game. I was watching him trying to connect with Marquise Goodwin. He only got him one time for 11 yards, but he kept overthrowing Marquise Goodwin. But the guys that he was hitting with are the guys that he works with a lot on the practice squad, like the guys who are second and third string guys. You know, he had my guy, Richie James Jr., baby. You know, I was going crazy when I saw Richie James Jr. out there. The 2 catches for the 60 yards. You know, like, and he was like just finding guys all over the field. Pierre Garçon. We talked about Pierre should be traded. He's old. He's losing it. 3 catches, 56 yards, and a touchdown. What Pierre Garçon, is that his first touchdown pass as a 49er? He didn't get any last year, and I don't think he had any this year.
It is.
No one's talking about that. Pierre Garçon's first touchdown pass came with the one quarterback he hasn't worked with at all. Ever, until this week. Pierre Garçon finally gets paid dirt as a 49er, and it happens with Chris freaking Mullens, man.
I want to say I've been reading the chat, and apparently I was wrong. Kyle, apparently I don't know this, but everybody's been saying Kyle's already announced that Mullens will be the starting quarterback. If that's the case, then there you go. But if not, which I don't know why he would. That doesn't seem like a thing a coach would do until much later into the week. But if he did, then there you go.
They asked him about it during the presser, and I didn't gather that sentiment that everyone's talking about. He said, I remember them asking where you've been hiding this quarterback, and he was like, our secret weapon. He joked about that and things like that. And they asked him, is he going to be starting next week? And he said, well, I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be hard not to start him. That's all he said. I didn't hear him definitively say yes. As a head coach, you want to leave it open. Whether you're tanking or not, you want a competitive advantage type of thing. So, like you said, it just doesn't make – we got 10 days before our next game. It doesn't make any sense to come out and say anything about it right now. So, I don't know, man. But anyway, I want to keep talking about Nick Mullens because he's going to be the story, man. He's definitely going to be the story. 16 completions of 22. Like I said, there were 2 passes to Goodwin. One where he kind of what's it called? He rolled out to his right. He had Goodwin there, but he overthrew him. Like it wasn't too high. It was one that it was beyond his reach. He dove for it to the sideline. He couldn't get it, and there was another one where he had him open. He overthrew him. It was kind of weird seeing him struggle with those guys. But like I said, the guys that are a little bit lower on the depth chart seem to be the guys that he had some good rapport with Richie James, Dwelly. What? Like, you know what I mean? Like seeing Dwelly and Bourne out there. And we have to talk about this. I'm going to stop here really quick. we gotta like send some serious prayers up for Raheem Mostert.
Yes, yes.
I watched the replay just when they first showed it on TV because of how quickly they threw it at us. It was one of those. It's pretty gruesome, but if you guys want to see it, here it is. Snap! Like they just showed it right there, and I was like, "Oh no!" Like my stomach knotted up and everything. But
yeah,
my stomach turned when I heard him screaming on the field.
You know it was bad whenever even Raiders players were looking over the sidelines like, "You need to get out here." That sucks. And I don't know if you planned on getting into it later, but I will say that is something to look forward or look to the future for, because Mostert has been an absolutely incredible special teams player. And first off, I should have started with this. Prayers to Raheem Mostert. I hate that happened for you. And I hate to see that, especially from a player that's been playing really well on both special teams, and he's been running the ball well. But back to what I was saying, he has been very good on our special teams, and I think our punts might suffer a bit from that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, Raheem Mostert has always been good on special teams, and this year he finally got a chance to prove that he could do something with the ball in his hands, and he did it. He did a really good job too. I mean, even in this game, I think he was averaging. Where is it? I just had it pulled up here. Averaging 12 yards a carry, man. That's incredible. Wait, that's rushing, right? Yeah, that's rushing yards. Yeah, that's rushing yards. He was even averaging 12 yards a carry today, 12.3. He was looking really good, man. You hate to see a good guy like that go down. Someone has busted their butt and worked their ways, stuck around on rosters until they finally got into the thing. And this is why I'm so happy to see Nick Mullens. I know he's only done it for 2 years, and he hasn't done much, but he hung around throughout training camp. You know what I mean? And he hung around last year on the practice squad, this year on the practice squad. He finally got bumped up. It's really good to see these guys get their due. Raheem Mostert was one of those stories also, someone that you cheer for, you know what I mean? But it's going to have a lot of trickle-down effects, not just our special teams, but our running back situation. We're going to have to bring someone else up. Is it Jeff Wilson time? Are we going to see Jeff Wilson, who was my favorite running back coming in from preseason?
I wouldn't be surprised. But I want to hit one thing before we leave the quarterback position. Just a quick rundown on what I saw tonight with Nick Mullens. So first off, he was a completely different quarterback than CJ Beathard has been. You never really saw Nick Mullens, and this part could be taken either way, because a lot of people praise CJ Beathard for his toughness and willing to just run all the way out for a first down and do everything he can for that play. But you really didn't see that happening with Nick Mullens. And that's almost also a relief, because every time CJ Beathard leaves the pocket, I stop breathing for a few seconds. And also, you talked about how fast he gets the ball out of his hands. He looked like a different player. And I think my favorite part of watching Nick Mullens tonight was hearing a lot of the stories they told about him. There was 2 that stuck out in my mind in particular. And this isn't even a for the rest of the season starting quarterback. This is a for the future type thing. The first story was the fact that after games, he has a list of every play call. He'll listen to crowd noise in his headphones, and he'll go out and run every single play. First of all, that's unreal dedication. I love hearing that. Second off, what was that other story about him? Oh, sorry. He knows – Kyle Shanahan said that next to Kyle Shanahan himself, Mullens probably knows that playbook the best out of anyone in that entire organization. Do you realize how great of an asset that would be as a backup quarterback? The guy that sits over there with the headphones and is helping out with all the situations, somebody that knows the playbook that well, and somebody that's able to keep their cool and think of things like that. And we have now seen he proved that he can hit different receivers all over the field. He doesn't just go to a safety blanket. I think that's an amazing asset to have as your backup quarterback for the future.
Yeah, and what it's going to do is it's kind of weird that you're going to have a second-year guy. Well, next year, if it remains true, you have a third-year guy talking to a 6-year guy like that. Like, you know, oh, you were doing this wrong. Try this next time you go out there and things like that. But that's what you want to see, you know. And I'm not saying that Beathard didn't do it, but if you look at Beathard, you don't see him. I can't envision Beathard as the vocal type. I can't see him pulling someone to the side saying, hey, try this, try this. And it's like, you know, Beathard, what'd you see? There was a play. You know, the pass was good. It was a good read, but you got to, like, no, that's not what I'm talking about. I needed to break this down for. I just don't see it coming from CJ Beathard. But I don't want to beat up on CJ Beathard too much. This is one of the effects I want to talk about with this, and then we can move on to other positions. You know, Nick was saying we got to bench him, we got to bench him, we got to bench him. And I've been saying that it's good for players to be forced to step back sometimes and get a different perspective, right? Imagine this. You go out there, you practice all week, and you're the best quarterback in practice. You go into the games, and you're horrible for 3 weeks in a row. This is what happened with CJ Beathard. And then when you guys are reviewing film with your head coach, you're looking at it, and he's like, I want you to look at the offensive line. You had time. And all he's watching as they're showing the play, he's watching himself. Even though he's supposed to be paying attention to the offensive line, damn, this is when I should have done this. I focused on this guy too long. I should have done that. And I'm not saying this is what CJ Beathard does, but with him not being on the film when they sit back to watch film this week, it could present an entirely different perspective. So now when they're watching film, he could actually be judging the line honestly. Like, now that he knows it wasn't him, did I overreact too quickly on this play, as opposed to really just looking at the offensive line? Damn, these guys really did their job. Wow, this guy got open a lot faster than I thought. Because when you're watching film, even with me, right, I'll go back and I'll listen to these broadcasts that we do and our podcasts and things like that. And I do it to listen for what I might have missed. So when you're speaking and I'm pulling up my notes for the next topic, I want to go back and listen to what you were saying again and things like that, right? And so even when I'm doing that on the replays and rewatches and listens, I find myself paying attention to what I was saying also. So you get what I'm saying? Like, it takes away, it's hard. Even though I'm going to listen for other things, I do find myself focusing on what I said. And I'm like, damn, that was a really stupid thing to say. Or it sounded like I didn't even pay attention to what he was saying before I transitioned. I make all these critical notes on myself, even though I'm listening to what you're saying. Now, when CJ Beathard sits back and he watches this game, there's not going to be any mental or critical notes of himself. It's going to be all on other players. You know what? It looks like I do have receivers that get open in 2 seconds. I am holding the ball too long when I'm in there. And so it's going to help him out a lot more, I think. And so I wouldn't be surprised if CJ Beathard got back in there as a starter. But we'll see, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And if what the handful of people were saying in the chat is true, and Shanahan already named him a starter, then so be it. I won't cry about it. But I will say this. I will caution everybody. We've seen good games from every single one of these quarterbacks. We saw CJ Beathard have a good game against the Giants. I mean, we saw Jimmy Garoppolo have a lot of good games. So I'm not going to sit here and get excited about this just yet. Kyle Shanahan has made some pretty bad quarterbacks look pretty good. So we have even outside of the 49ers, I'm talking about Matt Schaub. You know what I mean? I'm talking about Brian Hoyer in Cleveland. You know, he's done some things with some guys all over the NFL. So I won't pound it too much, but kudos to Nick Mullens. Who's another offensive player that you like? I mean, you got to talk about our guy, right? I mean, our tight end had 4 catches today, like 103, 107 yards and a touchdown or something like that. 107. How many yards did he have? That one-handed grab by him. Talk about it, man. Like, come on, give me something on it, bro.
Hey, I could talk about how much I love George Kittle all day. I was just saying something to Pops earlier today during the game. I was like, it feels so great to have like an elite player at a position on our team, a player that we don't just talk about as like how good he is, how everyone's talking about it. I mean, everybody's putting him in like his top 3, their top 3s, top 5s. I mean, I've seen the Travis Kelce, Rob Gronkowski, George Kittle. My personal one, and I think I've tweeted this out before, is Travis Kelce, Zach Ertz, George Kittle, just because Rob Gronkowski hasn't been playing all year. But at the rate George Kittle's going, I mean, it's really hard to stop him. Somebody just said, I'm getting the Kittle jersey. And I was just saying that earlier tonight. I need to get myself the Kittle jersey. I just got to figure out what color I want to get. I mean, it's so nice to have, first of all, a reliable pass catcher, because we don't always have one of those guys, who also is a very helpful blocker. It's just nice to have a top tier talent on that offense, a playmaker.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, man. I sat around and I tried to fight it. I fought so long. I fought so hard about, we don't have the top guy. Like, I'm not gonna gas it up. Not gonna gas it up, bro. Fuck that. We have the best tight end in the NFL. He's the most complete tight end. If he had a little bit more breakaway speed, just a little bit, imagine how much better he could be.
Yeah, that would be nice. Just a bit more speed would be awesome.
But he's got hands, concentration. He's a good blocker. He's tough. He's fun to watch, and he's a good interview. He's a guy who will go up to the microphone post game and talk some shit. So listen, Dylan, I'm gonna give the mic to you. I need you to hold me down for about 40 seconds. I'm gonna go get the Bluetooth. I know that a lot of fans are watching. We have way more viewers than what we normally have on a post-game reaction show. And I respect this YouTube community a lot, especially the 49ers YouTube community. I know we have a lot of guys who watch us. We have a lot of guys who watch Rombo. Rombo is in the middle of moving or relocating, so he can't go live tonight. He gives fans the opportunity to come on and vent. So we're going to do the same thing, guys. I'm going to go get the Bluetooth speaker. We're going to open up the phones. I'm going to give you guys the phone number, so get something to write it down with. We're going to give everybody 2 or 3 minutes to just vent, sound off, whatever it is you got to say. We're going to ask you to say who you are, and the floor is yours. Just go ahead and give it to us. You got 3 minutes, 180 seconds. That's it. All right. So hold me down really quick while I go get the speaker. I'll be right back.
One thing that I was really excited to talk about, and I hate that Mike's not even going to get to hear me talk about it. We just talked. I talked about this one part a little earlier in the podcast. But I want to talk about this defensive line as a whole. Yes, let's preface this. They played the Raiders offensive line, who has been comically bad. And so I want to preface it as well with we shouldn't expect this type of pressure going forward. I mean, you should know that by now through the season. I mean, it's been a little tough. It's been a little tough watching us try to get pressure on the quarterback. But a few players – Ronald Blair, Dakota Watson, Eric Armstead, and DeForest Buckner. And I'll put him in there too. Cassius Marsh all had a really good game tonight. Cassius Marsh has been getting a lot of hate this season too, but he played well tonight. Dakota Watson, it was so nice to see him coming back from injury, and it looked like he hadn't missed a step. If that, I mean, he gained a few steps, honestly. DeForest Buckner, he's been in a little bit of a lull lately, it seems. Just hasn't been getting to the quarterback like he normally does, which is hard to do whenever, I mean, you're the only person on a defensive line that gets to the quarterback. They're going to learn to block you. But he stepped his game up tonight. We've just had a whole lot going on that defensive line, and I'm really excited to see them getting pressure, and it gives me hope for the future as well.
Yeah, so my uncle was here, and every time we did something good on defense, he was like, Mike, you got to understand how many of our starters aren't in there and things like that, and how bad our offensive line is and all. He goes, he was like, you guys are probably going to get like 5 or 6 sacks tonight. And we got 6 on the head. He was right there with it. That's still not to take away anything from our players, but I knew something was up. I saw Solomon Thomas get pressure off the edge. Not on the inside. I saw Solomon Thomas get pressure off the edge. Talk about it, man.
Okay.
Yeah, give it to me.
We all know I am I am definitely probably your local resident Solomon Thomas hater. I have been very vocal about my dislike for that pick since before we drafted him. And a lot of people try to see the bright side of him. I don't. He played well tonight. I even mentioned that I wanted to see the snap count from where he took snaps on the interior and where he was rushing on the outside. I'd really like to figure some of that out and see, of course, again, and I hate to be the hater and the little negative guy here, but it was a pretty bad offensive line tonight. But I did like seeing that, especially from a guy who has been losing a lot of snaps lately. it at least looks like he's out there trying to work his way back up to hopefully be somewhat of the player he was drafted to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Elijah Lee and Zalcha. Both of those guys coming in and stepping up, playing a good game. These guys had it hard. We had a lot of backups and practice squad guys out there tonight, man. Every time I turned around, I was like, oh my God, I forgot that he was playing. Oh my God, I forgot he was playing. And then what about this, man? This is something that went, and don't worry, guys, I'm going to give you guys his phone number coming up real soon. Man, I was so excited to see Emmanuel Mosley out there, and the first play of the game, he like jammed up his finger or something and just done. Like, oh, I was so sad to see that happen for him.
I was excited to see him too, just because our man Eric Crocker, he's kind of hyped him up a little bit, and I trust anything that man has to say about defensive backs. So I mean, I was ready for it. I was hoping he was coming back for the impressive game, but it was a little bit of a letdown not seeing anything.
Yeah, oh yeah. Kwan Williams looked good out there. Salute to him. Cassius Marshall just kicking air all over the place tonight. He was kicking everything left and right and spinning and all jumping. He was doing his thing, man. Solomon Thomas, Jimmy Ward. Not one Jimmy Ward complaint for me all night long. Like, oh.
That's such a rare occurrence that I don't at least once a game say, what is Jimmy Ward doing?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't get a chance to pay as much attention as I wanted to the Marcel Harris, but not yelling at him was a good thing. Yeah, exactly. Like what happened to Marcel Harris, right? That was supposed to be a big thing. Dakota Watson.
That he's returning. I'd really like to go back and see how he did, but it's definitely always a good thing whenever you don't get yelled at by us.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I don't notice you, you did all right.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly, man. It wasn't like a lot of blown coverage or anything like that, so that was good. Dakota Watson, his first game back off of IR, coming up and just having a hell of a game, man. It seemed like he lived in the backfield. This is going to be a game that a lot of the people who watch ratings and PFF and things like that and all those different advanced metric systems, they're going to have a lot of fun looking at the grades for this team. This was a very impressive game. Fred Warner holding down the defense, man, the leader of that defense out there. That young man is going to be special. And I think a lot of people are down on Reuben Foster this year, but this guy, Reuben Foster, is all heart, soul, power, and speed. And if you take away his power and speed and an arm, Reuben Foster can't be that good. He'll try to fight through anything, but Reuben Foster will be back. We haven't seen what the combination of those two is going to be yet until they're fully healthy. So I'm excited to see that. Before I give out the numbers, is there anything else that you wanted to do or talk on?
I mean, we could, if you want to, talk about where this puts us in the draft picture, but we could also save that for later.
Yeah, we could do that later. All right, guys. So for everybody who's watching right now, here's the phone number, guys. Get ready. It is 628-888-3443. You guys want to call in. It's only one at a time, so I do apologize. We don't have a waiting line or anything like that. But again, the number is 628-888-3443. You guys can go ahead and give us a call. And again, you guys got 3 minutes to just sound off, all right? And not to be rude or anything like that, but when the 3 minutes is up, the line will disconnect at exactly 3 minutes. So you guys go ahead and sound off when you want to, okay?
I sent the number in the live chat too, in case anybody wants it there.
Awesome. 628-888-3443. All right, Dylan, man, are you worried about this whole Bosa, closer to Bosa?
Okay. So this was the Battle of the Bay, and it was the last Battle of the Bay. I am excited that we won it. I wanted to win this. We're probably not getting Nick Bosa. The Raiders, I can't possibly fathom how they could win another football game this season. And there's no way they're going to pass out on Nick Bosa. We'll get back into that. Go ahead.
All right, we got our first call coming in here. Hello.
What's going on, man?
All right, let me make sure the volume's all the way up. All right, tell us what's your name, man?
My name's Mark Lamar, man. M-A-R-C-L-E-M-A-R. Long time Niners fan. First time caller, long time listener. Man.
All right, the floor is yours, man. Sound off.
Man, I'm excited about Nick Mullens, man. I actually wanted him to play a little bit sooner. I'm kind of skeptical on Kyle Shanahan. Man. I don't really trust the situation, knowing that CJ Beathard is his guy, man. So I want to pose a question. Do you think he's really hurt, or do you think he wants to sit him a little bit and play Mullens? It's just kind of weird that you cut Tom Savage and so CJ is good enough to be a backup. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical on that. But on top of that, man, the team looked awesome. Defense held it down. I'm just excited, man. It's the first time I've been able to have a call. I usually join the Rombo show and watch you guys also. First time I've been able to call and be excited about the game, about the team all year, man. So that's really all I have, man. I want to get your thoughts on that. Do you guys really think Beathard is actually hurt? It just doesn't make sense. You cut a guy, but he's good enough to be a backup. I don't get that.
All right, Mr. Lamar, thank you for the call, man. We appreciate the support. Thanks for watching and checking us out, man. Show love out there and representing for the 49ers, all right?
I know.
All right. So, Dylan, that's a good point, man. He's healthy enough to be at the backup. He's healthy enough to get out there in case something happens to Nick Mullens on the first play of the game, but he's not healthy enough to start. Was this a setup? I saw some people talking about this before the game started. As soon as they said that Beathard was going to be active tonight and they were going to be cutting Tom Savage again, I was instantly like, oh, okay, well, then Beathard's going to be the starter. Do you think it was a setup? Do you think that this was Kyle Shanahan's nice way of benching him, or do you think this is real?
No, no disrespect to what anybody thinks, but I don't think that's it at all. I think physically, CJ Beathard was not ready to play in this game. It was a very short week. He had hurt his wrist. I have no doubt in my mind, because if you remember, we had to wait till CJ Beathard got hurt before we saw Jimmy G. Even when people thought CJ Beathard, it was time to get out, I really think that CJ Beathard was not healthy enough to play a full game, because there's a huge difference between playing even a full game and half a game of football.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I mean, on a short week, he didn't take any snaps all week in practice. He couldn't hold a football the day before.
Exactly.
And now he's back in there. So, but like he said, though, man, you have to admit that if he's healthy enough, because we've seen weird things happen with this 49ers team. Nick Mullens going down on the first play of the game would not have surprised me at all. And then you have to put in CJ Beathard. So it's got to be something. I think that the coach felt about it this way. Look, if this was a Sunday game, CJ Beathard probably would have played. If he got strength back in his hand on Wednesday, it means he could have practiced on Thursday or Friday for the walkthroughs at least, and he probably would have been the starter on that Sunday. But because it didn't happen that way, because it was a short week, I think that's why. And you have a player who either really knows your playbook or doesn't know it much at all, in Savage versus Beathard, and so that's how you win who's going to be the backup. I think that's what it boiled down to. We really hope we don't have to put you in. We can run the ball a lot more than have you pass it if we have to, and we'll just call it a game from there. This was an all or nothing for Nick Mullens. I don't think it was a little okie doke between Nick Mullens and CJ Beathard. Guys, that was a great question, man. 628-888-3443. You guys give us a call. This is your moment to sound off. Tell us how you feel about your 49ers first win. Are you mad? Are you happy? Do you like the fact that we are a step away from Bosa? Would you rather us win from here on out? That's what I want to hear from the fans. Do you guys want to see some rhythm right now? Because even if we get hot, let's say we just win all the way out, and I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. Let me be clear here. We're not going to win out. I don't think we're going to win all the way out. I don't hope we win all the way out. But let's just say we did. With this roster the way it is, most of these guys aren't going to be the ones playing next year anyway. These aren't going to – Nick Mullens, he's not going to be the quarterback. Jeff Wilson Jr. isn't going to be the running back. It's going to be Breida and McKinnon, right? With – you know what I'm saying? Like, is anyone that's coming in right now that's going to be out here – Dwelly? All right, Dwelly might be here because I have no idea what happened to Selleck. Is Selleck still on the 49ers roster? Like, what's going on with him?
I just want to point out, at the end of the season last year, we all did a who was a little overhyped and who was underhyped, and I said Selleck, and I got roasted for that one. But what has Selleck done? Nothing. What has George Kittle done? Become an elite tight end.
Talk your shit, Dylan.
But I do agree. Dwelly, we might see him. We might not. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. I'm seeing some people in here saying we should tank. Let's see what else happened. Did that happen last year? Saw CJ on the field again. I want us to continue to win. You know, it's gonna be rough, man. People are back and forth. Let's see what else I see in here. No, we should tank. Raiders are trash. Relax. I wonder what that was in reference to. Yes, we know the Raiders are trash. This is still the overreaction show. We're going to enjoy it while we can. Reality will set in soon enough that we played a really, really, really bad team tonight. I didn't think it was possible for a team to be worse than the 49ers, and they were worse than us by a large margin tonight.
Significantly worse than us.
I mean, the Raiders, check this out. The Raiders only had 6 penalties all game, but it felt worse than that, right? Didn't it feel like when an important thing was happening on the field, the Raiders just couldn't get it right? We had 3 penalties tonight. They had 6. I mean, it didn't feel that close in the penalty margin. They converted a decent amount of first downs from third down. I think they were like 5 of 12 or something like that. They had a decent amount of rushing yards, 102 rushing yards. They were out there. They were okay. They just couldn't get the ball going in the air. Derek Carr was supposed to be the difference maker. The reason I thought the Raiders were going to win this instead of the 49ers because it was going to be a battle between the quarterbacks. And no one watching this right now believes that Derek Carr is worse than Nick Mullens. I don't think you think that. And we just saw Nick Mullens look a lot better. But I don't think anyone
in the world that tries to tell me that they thought that Nick Mullens was going to go out there and out quarterback duel Derek Carr. I won't believe it.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. All right, let's see. Oh, they hung up. Damn it. I'm going to try to call them back. Hold on. Let me see if I can get back to the missed call we just had here. Where did my app go? Here we go. This was from Utah, Salt Lake City. Come on, baby. All right, I'm going to try giving you a call back, okay? Oh, they are calling back. Hold on, the California number that's calling. Hold on 1 second.
Hello.
Hey, you're on with Nothing But Niners. What's your name?
Oh, it's Driver.
Drivers.
2 days ago.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Hey, man, what I tell you, man, there's nothing. There ain't nothing wrong with no scheme. The offensive scheme, as I should say.
Talk your shit, man. You got 3 minutes to sound off. Whatever you got to say, man. Go ahead.
So, anyways, man, 3 minutes. I think we're gonna repeat next, last year. We're not gonna win. We're not gonna win. Maybe not all the games, but watch us beat the Rams, man. I need to be the biggest upset this year.
He said we're gonna beat the Rams. Yo, that's faith right there.
What if we do with Nick Mullens?
Come on.
What?
But
What? You know what I mean?
You understand how much better the 49ers have to get on defense to beat the Rams. I won't say offense because I've seen what Shanahan can do.
I'll say offense.
What was that?
I'll say we have to get better on offense too. We got to get better on everything if we want to even compete.
You know, he's opening up the playbook.
Yeah, that
should be how the playbook, plays out.
He looked good. He looked decisive out there. If we beat the bro, listen. All right, let me ask you this, Driver, before we have to let you go. Let me ask you this question, right?
Yeah.
If you could choose one more game on our schedule to win this year, which one would it be? Just one. You want me to run down? I can
winning next week.
I can give you the rest of the schedule. Next week we got the Giants, right?
Giants. I see us beating them.
Then there's a bye, I believe. I'm pulling it up, so I'm just stalling right now. I'm just talking out my butt right now. I won't cut you off.
Got 2 Seattle games.
What was that?
2 Seattle games.
Yeah, but they're not back to back. All right, here we go. I'm pulling the schedule. Here we go. It's coming up now.
And that's who I would choose to beat. Seattle at home. If we could beat one more team,
we got the Bucs,
Seattle at home.
All right, so here it is. I got it here. All right. So next week we have the Giants, then we have the bye, Then we're on the road for the Bucks. We're on the road for Seattle. Then we're at home against the Broncos. We're at home against Seattle. We're at home against the Bears. We're on the road against the Rams. If you could only win one of those games, which one would it be?
The Rams. The Rams.
Oh, that's a dope question. This is going to be a good question.
I got no respect for them.
Really? What about all the hate for Seattle over the last couple of years? It's just gone, huh?
We'll lose in Seattle, but we'll probably win at home.
So you,
but yeah, they're not a threat anymore.
I like your confidence. It's not even fun to.
Really.
It's not really. It's not fun to beat up on them anymore.
Next year will be a different story, though. Next year we have a whole, we got Jimmy back, we got McKinnon back. It should be good. Yeah,
I hear you. All right, driver man. Thanks for calling in today, man. We really do appreciate it. It's going to be a lot of fun to see how the Niners do for the rest of the season, man. We got Jim. We started out really bad. We were 1-9, and the next thing you know, it was win.
We're not going to win all of them, but I feel like I say 5-11.
Yeah, another 5-11 season.
Yeah.
All right, like you said, that'll be repeating like last year. All right, man. We'll talk to you. All right, thanks for the support, bro. Keep it up.
Yeah, you too, man. Thanks.
All right, we had another caller that was calling in from Dylan. While I'm pulling up this number, you said that you would pick one Seattle game to win. Which one would it be? At home or on the road?
I'd like to win it at home.
You want us to win it at home, huh?
Mm-hmm. I mean, as much fun as it would be to beat Seattle in their own place, because that's always been something that we've wanted to do. But in general, it's always been something that we've wanted to do for a little while, to beat Seattle. The stigma that Levi's cursed, I'd rather just go ahead and beat Seattle at home. And
yeah, I'm sitting here. I still don't have an answer yet. I would like to say that I want us to beat the Rams, but if we did beat the Rams at the end of the season in Week 17, I could see it being like Week 17 last year, where they know they got the playoffs and they're gonna go easy and rest their starters. That's not fun. Now, if the Rams need that game for like the number 2 seeds for home field throughout the playoffs, except if they play the number 1 seed type of thing, if they're out there and they're trying, then I want that win. But if they're running away with the league the way that it seems, I don't want that one. I think I would take, believe it or not, I think I would take Seattle in Seattle over Seattle at home. I would want us to win in Seattle, because I just want their fans to be there and think that they're helping the mighty 12th man, and we shut down all 13 of them. Like that's what I would want to see if I had to pick one more. So let me see if I can get this caller back on. We missed the call from here. We're going to try to get them back on. And that's a good question. If you guys could just win one more, what would it be? Let me pull up the call history here. It is moving slow. Missed calls. Boom. All right, I'm going to try calling you back. If I'm waking anybody up, this isn't the East Coast number, so it's not 12:30 like it is for me. And Dylan. We holding it down, baby. We holding it down.
Yeah, hello, man.
Hey, this is Mike with Nothing But Niners. Who's this? Hello? Can you hear us?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
This is Mike with Nothing But Niners. Who's this?
My name's James.
James? All right, man. You a Niners fan?
Yeah, hell yeah, bro.
All right, give me something good, man. You got 3 minutes. The floor is yours.
Today, when we got a race, but the first time, it just gives like the 5 hours, because we get so great.
Hell yeah! Look, it's pretty. Wait, say that again. If he does great like this for the rest of the season, what? I don't think he would replace Jimmy Garoppolo. I could see him overseeing Nick Mullens, CJ Beathard. I could see the team, being stubborn and saying, you know what, these are our 3 quarterbacks from now on. I think he could change the draft and what we do in free agency and things like that. I don't think that he would get – Jimmy Garoppolo just makes too much money, even in his second year. And I know that a lot of people say it's a friendly deal that the team can get out of quickly. I just don't think that's going to be something that happens. What about you, Dylan? What do you think? You think that it's possible for Nick Mullens balls out? Let's just say that Nick Mullens averages 35 points a game for the rest of the season, and he didn't get 35 tonight. Do you think it's something that he could unseat Jimmy Garoppolo for?
Not a chance.
Not a chance?
No.
All right, James, anything else, man?
Oh, yeah. You know, I just think, you know, everything together. Like, I think that these boys, you know, all the kids are, like, right, correctly, you know. Well, from my point of view, like, as if you were watching some play, you know, you look really good. I don't know if you're going to face to the Ravens, you know, this stuff, but.
And that's the.
You know,
Hello? Uh-oh. I think we lost him. Let me see what's happening here. Uh-oh. Hold on 1 second, bro. Give me a second. Trying to figure out what happened here. Looks like the Bluetooth is connected. Hold on. We're going to pause your time. You got a minute still. Hold on. Let me get the Bluetooth back on. Yeah, it turned all the way off on us. Damn. That's crazy. All right. You back, James? Oh, there you go. We got you back. All right. What were you saying now? Go ahead, James. The floor is yours, bro.
Like that quarterback, he said everything together, you know. Then like it was like watching the game. It looked the offense was running clearly, you know. It's just amazing, you know. It gives me hope as a fan. You know, we're gonna have a better season. Looking forward to next season, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, one of the things that I saw, and I don't know if Dylan feels the same way, but this offense, even when plays weren't going forward the way they were supposed to, it still felt like they were in a rhythm. You know, like we see Jimmy like get 6 yards here, 12 yards here, and then on first down it'll be like a pass for -1 yards, and then the second 11 they'll get 4 yards, and then on 3rd and 7 you still feel like it's no problem for Jimmy Garoppolo to convert a 3rd and up to like 15. Like you just don't feel like there's a lot of pressure. And with CJ Beathard, if one play went negative, it was like, oh man, like this drive is over already. I didn't feel that way tonight, and I think I should have felt that way. I really think I should have felt that way. There was one drive that I felt that way about, and Nick Mullens had this awesome sidearm throw to George Kittle, I believe. I think Kittle was the guy who caught that one. And I was like, yo, this guy's doing it from different platforms. He is really trying to take CJ's job. That is crazy. All right, so James, last question for you before we let you go. I got to ask you this question. If the 49ers could only win one more game this year, what game you taking? Seattle at home or Seattle in Seattle?
At Seattle, so you know, it'll be another fan, you know, like those down.
Yeah. I like that, baby. I like that. All right, man. Thanks for the support, and be safe out there tonight. All right, don't party too hard.
All right, have a great day.
You too. Seattle and Seattle, man. It's an emotional thing. As much as I would want to see it at home, it's gonna be like, oh well, we beat them, but we beat them on the road. We were doing that with Jim Harbaugh. We haven't beat Seattle in Seattle since Harbaugh's first season, 2011, dude. Come on, you got to give me something, man.
I mean, yeah, you're right. I specifically said I'd love to see it too. But personally, I love wins at home. I don't know what it is, but wins at home always feel great. I don't know.
No, you're right, man. And you know, it really sucks that we already lost. It sucks that we already lost to Arizona, man. Arizona's got a nice long win streak against us. I want to get one of them back at I want to get one back at them. We got one more missed call we're going to do. For anybody who is watching and you want to call, the number is 628-888-3443. I got one more missed call that we had here. I'm going to call this one back, and we'll get ready to wrap this thing up. I do want to touch on the defense again. I want to talk about the special teams and the long-term effects of that also, because the special teams has already been struggling. But this was actually one of the games that we got away with on the more healthy side when it was all said and done. And that's bad considering we saw someone with a gruesome arm break. All right, we got somebody calling in here. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hey, you're on with Mike. Yeah, you're on with Mike and Dylan with Nothing But Niners. Who is this?
This is Cameron Joel down in Kansas City. From the Loop.
Oh,
First off, I'd like to answer the question. I would like to smash Seattle in Seattle. That way Sherman, and then give Sherman that turkey leg and let him eat that turkey leg on Seattle's land, because they did that to us.
Okay, wait. Hold on, we got.
I'd like to shout out to y'all. You know, giving us a platform to talk. You know what I mean? I appreciate that a lot. Really, actually, you know, it's hard, especially now. You know, you see the true colors of, you know, who the real fans is, and it's been rough out here. You know, I stay out here in St. Louis, so I see a lot of bandwagon Rams fans, and it's getting tiring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hearing that shit all day, but appreciate y'all.
No, man, we really, really appreciate the support. What'd you say your name was, bro?
Dustin from Duluth.
Dustin?
Yeah.
Got to give it back to Seattle, Dylan, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, in their house, man. You got to.
I'm telling you, bro.
Yo,
Dylan.
Good point.
You embarrassed us so much years.
Yeah. No,
man, I want to smash them bitches, bro. Every time I see a Seattle bandwagon, I boo him right in front of his face. I boo him right in front of his face. I'm a 90s kid. I was born in '90s, so I'm not familiar with all the older rivals.
Yeah.
My rival is a Seattle. Man, I can't stand them, bro.
And they got us in the playoffs all those times. Like, yeah, we got to get them back. I'm with you. What were you saying, Dylan? What'd you say, D?
He brought up a very good point that makes me kind of want to change my answer to Seattle and Seattle. That Sherman game going back to Seattle, you know he wants to give it to him. You know he wants to be like, yo, what was that? You want to drop me? Okay. Yeah, I might be leaning towards that game now, honestly.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I like to hear right there. And I apologize, Justin, for the beginning of the phone call. We had two callers on at the same time somehow. I don't know if you guys could hear that over there, but it was crazy. So I'm going to call that other caller back. I apologize about that. But before we wrap this up, is there anything else you wanted to touch on?
Yes. Okay.
Hey, Dylan, take off the hair. Let us see that fresh fade, man. Where that fresh fade at when we was winning?
This is a long time watcher. He said, Dylan, take off that hat. Let us see that fresh fade, man. We got to see the hair. Dylan said no.
That fresh fade. What happened, man?
It's been a little while since I got the haircut.
Come on, bro.
Tomorrow morning, but it looks a little rough right now.
I'm rocking the puff too, bro, but I'm growing mine out by choice. So this is going to be a thing here. But
we all are, man. It's a stressful season.
Yeah, man. No Shave November was here in September, bro. I was like, fuck that. I'm not
dealing with the jersey, no collar shirt, man, no gel. Come on, Dylan, you slacking.
He was GQ for us for a little bit. He'll get it back. We'll get his swag back. We about to go on a win streak here. We'll see Dilly slick back soon. All right.
That's it, man. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to all the faithful out there. Coming from the 808.
Yeah, man.
Peace out, y'all. Lord.
All right. Be safe, bro. Peace. All right. So we had another caller that was on. I want that caller to call back, and I'm afraid I can't figure out which caller was which because both of the numbers are on here at the same time. So I'm not sure who the other caller was. So if you're watching still, please give us a call back. I was no disrespect. It was two calls going on at the same time, and one of them just dropped off. So we want to thank Dustin for calling in. That was cool. Let me check these messages in the comments. You see anything in the comments over there, Dylan?
Nothing.
No?
I mean, they're just conversing.
All right. Yo, did you? So we know special teams is going to take a hit, right? Like we're accepting that, right? But our
Aaron
special
Burbridge.
teams, like they haven't been that good. By the way, Bradley Pinion had a hell of a punt tonight. That punt down the sideline, then it bounced in. The Raiders guy, yes, right here. The Raiders guy didn't. He didn't fair catch it. He let it bounce and then it rolled down. It was Pinion's longest punt of the season. But our special teams guys aren't really doing anything all that special this year.
Yeah, you remember in preseason, it was that debate on who should make the roster, Aaron Burbridge or Raheem Mostert. And we did get Aaron Burbridge in on the practice squad, if I remember correctly. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him moved up at this point. So
I tell you what, Dylan, you just made me feel a lot better about. I mean, I don't feel good about losing Raheem Mostert. Don't get me wrong, but as far from the special team standpoint, I forgot that we picked him back up and threw him back on the practice squad. Man, okay, baby. Okay, now I'm all right. I'm okay right now. Looking at commercials with Nick Mullens, the one-handed catch George Kittle. He running, man. He ran out of gas. Oh, damn. I wish Kittle had more speed, bro. Down inside the 10. Then the rollout. Hey, yo, that's what I wanted to tell you. So this series, that sequence of plays, he got this close to getting in the end zone. I said, you know what? He deserves that touchdown. I said, I hope we run the ball and we don't get it in, and then we just toss it to him and let him get the easy touchdown. And it happened. I was like, oh, my God. The Niners are playing Niners football the way I want them to play Niners football. That's a dangerous thing. What was your favorite moment of the game? Come on, you got to have something that was just like, oh, man, that's got to be the one, because that was it for me right there. That sequence, it was a big play by Kittle. He's running down the field. He got stopped inside the 10, almost to the 5, and I'm like, man, he really deserves this touchdown. I want him to get it. I hope we run the ball, let him catch his breath, and then give him an easy one, and it happened. Boom, just the way I wanted it to happen. It was beautiful.
Okay, so the obvious answer would be the one-handed catch by George Kittle, because, I mean, come on, that was unreal. But I think my personal favorite, it was on Mullens' very first drive, I believe, that play where Pierre Garçon was going out over here. Nobody was over there. Mullens just hit it perfectly and got the touchdown, and I was like, uh-oh, he might play some good football tonight.
Watching it was so much fun. And the first touchdown, yo, I'm going to be honest with you. I was like, yo, I'm not going to get excited. I've seen us do this before. You saw me in the room, bro, like in the chat room. Everyone was like,
Mike was going up until the third quarter saying, guys, don't get too excited yet. We're going to blow it.
They've trained me, man. The Niners have trained me to be this way. I wasn't always like this, Faithful. I swear to you guys, I wasn't always like this. I'm going to open up the phone calls for one more caller, guys. I feel bad for that person who I can't tell which number it was, and I don't want to call anybody back who was already on. 628-888-3443. Again, that's 628-888-3443. We'll take one more caller, and then I got to get out of here, guys. This has been a lot of fun. If we don't have any more callers, if no one calls in the next 60 seconds or so, I'll give them 2 minutes to call because I know there's a little bit of a delay. But if nobody else calls, we're going to get up out of here.
Hey, before we do head out, I want to hit – we touched on it just briefly, but I saw a little bit of talk about it in the group. But before we get out of here, I do want to mention a few things on, first off, how this affects the draft and how it affects what we do in the draft.
Get on it. Let's go. Let's do it.
All right. So, like I had mentioned earlier, this probably means that we're pretty much out of the running for that Nick Bosa pick. But a lot of people are trashing – not trashing, I'm sorry. No, some people are trashing, but saying that we don't need Nick Bosa. There's plenty of others, and they are completely correct. There is a very good edge rusher class this year. It's phenomenal. All right, go ahead.
I'm sorry, bro, but I see the number here. All right, here we go. Should be dialing. Oh, damn, now someone else is calling from Asheville. All right, Asheville, hold on. We'll get back to you. Hello? Yo. Cameron, what's going on, man? You're on with Nothing But Niners. How you doing?
Man, doing good besides living in Kansas City, man. The nightmare never ends.
Oh, it's got to be hard being a Niners fan when the Chiefs are out there rolling the way they are.
Well, it's even worse going to the game and seeing the Garoppolo injury after being in Minnesota in week 1. And, still feeling the pain and I can't escape it, man.
Yeah, that's got to be tough. The last 3 Niner games I've been to have been a loss, and I was supposed to go to this one, but my surgery stopped me from going. I was robbed by this doctor, so I might sue him for malpractice. I got to.
Hey, it's probably cool then, But anyway, I can't believe that someone's asking if Nick Mullens is going to, surpass Garoppolo. I can't wait till next year. I'm embracing the tank right now, and today I felt good. Like, you start the game off, you want to lose the game, but you watch this game and you get excited again. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it's the faithful deserve that feeling. They deserve the feeling of feeling like we can win a football game.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, Kittle with his one-arm grab, like you see that excited tight end. You're super pumped for it. But yeah, you want Bosa, but there's a lot of good edge defenders in the spot, so it's okay if we win some more games.
Yeah. Dylan's definitely going to talk about that. I know Polite is one of the guys that a lot of people have their eyes on, but we're going to get to that also. So maybe we don't have to blow for Bosa. Maybe there's something else that we can do.
Gary's looking really, really fucking good. Excuse my language.
No, you're good, man. You're good. Don't worry about it. This is an adult-rated show. We already got the TVMA stamps and everything. We're good, man. Hey, let me ask you a question. If there was one more game that we could win this year, which one would it be?
Well, again, I'm embracing the tank. Should be none of them, but yes, obviously it'd be Seattle away.
Okay, I like the way he thinks.
Coming from Portland, Oregon, man, I'm so tired of the Seattle fans.
Yes,
they're just so fair weather fans. And,
yes,
they just started becoming fans all of a sudden, and that's not how we are as a faithful.
They were fans of themselves more than they are the team, and that's why they do this whole 12th man BS. That's crazy to me.
Exactly.
That is crazy to me.
And
that's like
Portland, Oregon. You see it all the time.
That's like getting a tattoo portrait of yourself. like, come on.
Or a current girlfriend that you're going to break up with anyways.
Yeah, like, come on, man. It's crazy. All right, man. Thank you so much for calling in, man. Is there anything else you want to say? You good? All right. All right, Dylan. We got one more call. I have to return. This one was from I believe it said Asheville. I think this is. Did it say Asheville, Carolina? Let me see. Let me see if I can pull this up again. Here it is right here. All right. This is our last call of the night. We want to thank you guys for participating so far. You guys have been great. I could do this all night. No, I can't do it all night. I have work in the morning, but I don't mind doing it. This has been a lot of fun, man. Dylan, thanks for you having a good time too, man. This is good, man. The Niners winning football games and shit. I didn't see Derek Carr crying, but man, they were all over him tonight, man. God, he was getting beat up. Ooh. Yo. Hello. Hello. You gotta turn down the YouTube video.
Yeah, that's me, man.
All right, who are we speaking with?
My name's Jeffrey.
Jeffrey, what's going on? Where are you from, man?
Asheville.
Asheville. Okay,
North Carolina.
North Carolina in the building. My family's from there. Dylan's there right now. That's what I'm talking about. How you feeling about tonight's game? Break it down for us.
I don't know, man. It's hard to take. They played good on defense tonight. I know that.
You weren't impressed with the offense also?
Oh, well, yeah. Well, this is the Raiders, man. Come on.
I like it. Some perspective.
I don't know what's going on with them, but they kind of look like us at the first of the season, you know?
Absolutely, man. They couldn't get out of their own way. I like the way you're taking this. This is good for me. This is good for me. It's going to bring me back down to earth before we wrap the show up. You said that you really like the defense. Fred Warner was flying around all over the place. If you had to pick a player on defense to give the game ball to, who would that defensive player be?
Tonight, I'd say Fred, man, because he was really in there a lot, man. You seen it.
Absolutely, man. So, is this your first time watching this with Nothing But Niners?
Oh no, I've watched you plenty of times. I just ain't never called in.
All right. Well, we do appreciate you doing that. Now, I got to ask you the question I've been asking everybody. There was one more game to win this year.
Yeah, I know. Everybody's thinking Seattle, but I don't know. I'm thinking the Rams, man. That'd be better for us.
It's the Carolina thing.
Yeah,
That's so it's the Carolina thing. That's what Dylan said also.
I said Seattle. What are you talking about?
But they're more of a rival now, I think, because they really manhandle us, man, and we ain't lost like that this season. We've lost some really close games we should have won.
Yeah, well,
It's coming together, man. You just wait and see. It might take next year, but oh well. I've waited. My daughter was just born the last time they won a Super Bowl, and that's how long it's been. And I've been a fan since '88, and I was really happy to see this win.
30 years, man, and we're happy to see the team go 2-7. That is rough. That is saying something, but you are a true faithful, man. I salute you for that. So let me ask you this question then. You know, I know you said the Rams. My question to you is going to be, do you want to see the Niners win more games this season, or would you prefer us to lose so we can get a better draft pick? Because we kind of feel like the season's a loss. I mean, if we're not winning out, there's no chance of making the playoffs. Everyone's beat up and young. I mean, how would you do it this year if you had your way?
Look, I'm gonna be truthful and say don't think I don't like a good draft pick, but man, I want to win games. I've been seeing them lose so much, and they're better than what they are, and they just need to come together as a team. It's not one player, and everybody's blaming it on one player. It's not one player. It's a team effort.
You want to see Mullens in there going forward, or you want to see Beathard fight for his job back?
I guarantee you they're going to start Beathard next Sunday against the Giants.
I kind of feel like that's what's coming also.
You know, that's just my feeling. But me myself, if I was Kyle, I'd start Mullens.
Interesting, very interesting. All right, well, thanks for the support.
He threw 3 touchdown passes on the first 3 times he had the ball. So, you know, no quarterback's done that since 2000.
You know what's weird? I thought he had 4 touchdown passes. I can swear that one that they credited as a run, I thought he tossed it to him overhand. And I thought that one was going to be.
I don't know about that. I think it was 3, but I might be wrong.
No. You're right. His stats are 3 touchdown passes, but he had a run, and I thought he tossed it to the guy overhand. And I've seen them count those as passes before. So you were absolutely right, though.
Another thing, we can have no turnovers tonight. We've had a turnover in every game, and we didn't have but 4 penalties, maybe.
Yeah, I think this is 2 games in a row without a turnover. We didn't have one against the Cardinals last week, did we? We just lost the game. I don't think we had one last week.
That's right. We fumbled, but he didn't give it away. That's right.
Right. Yeah. So, all right. Well, thanks for the call and the support. We really do appreciate it. You be safe out there in Carolina. All right.
All right, man.
Take it easy.
Peace.
All right, Dylan. Let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. I know you were talking about the draft this year. So go ahead and let's get back to that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this one fast because it is about time to wrap this up for the night. But okay, so what I've been maintaining through the year is I've been kind of on that Stewart vibe of, hey, let's just go ahead and lose for the season and get Nick Bosa. But at this point, it does seem like the Raiders are going to be that lock for that first overall pick. I can't see them winning another football game. So, and they will without a doubt. I can't imagine them taking anybody other than Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa is somebody said they agreed with me whenever I mentioned something about Nick Bosa. I hope I'm not going to hurt your feelings here, because you might not agree with me for the rest. Nick Bosa is easily the best edge rusher in this class. There is no question about that. People worry about injury. I am not the biggest skeptic on that injury problem, because a lot of people compare that to Joey Bosa, who they're different people, guys. They are not the same person. But if we do not get that number 1 overall pick and we are not able to take Nick Bosa, there is a slew of great edge rushers. This edge rusher class is unreal. No, not Ed Oliver. We don't need another defensive interior lineman, please. But Montez Sweat, Ja'Kai Polite, people have been talking about Josh Allen. Some people have been talking about Brian Burns, my personal favorite, Cleveland Farrell from Clemson, Zach Allen. Those are all just guys that have already been talked about for first-round picks. I mean, that's unreal. Ja'Kai Polite is a guy that has been moving his way up the ranks all college football season. These are a lot of really talented guys, and if we can't get Nick Bosa at number 1 overall, I have no problem being somewhere in that top 10 pick range. I have no problem with us winning 2 more games, which is what I think is honestly realistic. We could take down the Giants next week, and we could take down Seattle just because of the rivalry. And theoretically, if the Rams are sitting all their starters, then we could take them down too. But like I said, there's a list of 6 guys that I listed that are already looking to be first-round picks at edge rusher, and that's not even including Nick Bosa. There's 7 guys. If John Lynch does not take an edge rusher in this draft, in either the first, I'll even give him the second round. I don't know, man. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. If we don't get an edge rusher on this football team, I'm gonna lose my mind.
He can't blow it. You know, here's what I'll say about this edge rusher thing, right? And the importance of it, because we know that we need one and what it means to the defense, right? But we saw tonight what this defense is supposed to be able to do with pressure, and it was just a bunch of backups out there. This was a bunch of backup players out there. The safety position, you know what I mean? Like the defensive lineman has a heavy rotation. The both linebacker positions it was all shuffled, all 3, really. I mean, Malcolm Smith was gone. That's our Sam. You know, we had Fred Warner out there. He's the only one, but he moved. Like it's if you can get consistent pressure, this defense looks vastly different. It really, really does. The safety positions, the fact that we didn't have the starters out there was irrelevant tonight because of what pressure does in the design of this system. If you can make the quarterbacks get the ball out quickly, you minimize the gains, and it's a completely different game. You give them over 3 or 4 seconds, poof, the defense blows up and they melt. It is dependent on pressure. Yes, this was a bad Oakland Raiders team. Not every team is going to have such a bad offensive line. However, if you can get someone who can defy those odds, they can't double team Buckner and the guy coming off the edge at the same time, then all of a sudden you can get consistent pressure and force teams to throw the ball away earlier, and you will see a lot more defensive games like this. Not so much 7 sacks. I'm not saying you're going to see 7 sacks every night. I'm saying you're going to see pressure and errant throws happening all game long, and that's what Robert Saleh needs. If we listen, I know you said you're willing to give it to him to the second round. That's fine. I feel like honestly, and I'm not joking, we only have 5 draft picks. 2 of them need to be edge guys. If we don't do 2 in the draft, then 1 needs to be edge and 1 has to come in free agency. We need 2 more edge guys because the draft is a crapshoot. What if we get a guy? What if we get the guy we want, and then he doesn't pan out? We have to get somebody and get some insurance also.
In a very positive world, which I don't live in, I am not the positive guy. In a positive world, and what everybody tells me that I don't believe, in that Solomon Thomas turns it around, and he's going to be that nice, like, interior guy. Him and Buckner right there. Ronald Blair, Eric Armstead, and whoever we draft to be an edge rusher going in there. You got Sheldon Day in rotation. You got DJ Jones in rotation. You can even put Cassius Marsh rotating in there too if you really want to, but I don't imagine him.
Contavious Street and Julian Taylor also.
Oh, I forgot about Contavious Street, my favorite. I'm a big Contavious Street guy. I'm also a big Julian Taylor guy, and I can't wait till both those guys get some time in there.
Defensive line already looks different for next year. It's exciting, man. And this is what we could have to look forward to on a week in and week out basis from the defense. The defense deserves a lot of credit for what they did tonight. You know, the Raiders defense was bad. Yes, we knew that. We knew that was going to be the case coming in, but we didn't know that we were going to be able to do this to their offense. At least I didn't. I still respect Derek Carr. Derek Carr a lot. They have, I went to go watch. This is the little story I tell all the time about Sammy Watkins. I went to go watch film on him, and every time I was watching the college highlights, I'm like, yo, that guy is really good. And then it was Martavis Bryant. Every time when I was watching the highlights and things like that, and watching the the draft scout, draft prospect website, draft breakdown. You know what I'm talking about, the draft prospect breakdown website, whatever it's called. I was going on there and watching the games, and I'm like, yo, this receiver is good. And I'm watching Sammy Watkins film, but I'm looking at Martavis Bryant. I wanted him. I respect him a lot, man. He's one of my favorite receivers in the NFL. But we did a damn good job, man. Akello Witherspoon is back. I love seeing Akello Witherspoon back, man.
He is playing well, too. He is definitely stepped up his game since earlier this season.
Yes. I think Eric Armstead, man, we need one more good showing like this, and people will stop spitting on his name. Eric Armstead has been one of my favorite defensive linemen for the last couple of years, when healthy and on the field.
Another guy that's gotten his name spit on a couple times, even by you for sure, a lot, Malcolm Smith. I thought he played well tonight. I'm sorry.
Malcolm Smith didn't play.
I saw him play.
Bro.
Malcolm Smith totally played. Somebody in the chat. Malcolm Smith played. I remember seeing Malcolm Smith in there.
Hold on. I got to look this up. I thought Malcolm Smith was – you might be right. No. You might be right. Malcolm Smith might not have been one of the inactives. He had a good game the other game, too, and I didn't want to say anything because, that's the guy I have fun hating on. But let me pull it up. I might be wrong. This is on me. Like I said, I was in such shock and awe, and I was waiting for the team to mess up. That, like I said, I don't know if you saw before the game, I was like, yo, I really want to watch Marcel Harris tonight. I didn't get a chance to pay attention to Marcel Harris at all.
Yeah, so, everybody's agreeing with me, by the way. Malcolm Smith played.
Oh, yeah, he definitely played. I see. He had 2 tackles. Okay, so I'll go back and watch to see how he played tonight. My apologies, everybody. Like I said, I didn't get to pay attention to everybody I wanted to pay attention to.
I do want to rephrase. He didn't look like a liability, which is what we have problems with at linebacker sometimes. I don't know if I want to completely say he played a good game, but he didn't look like a liability from what I saw. Yeah,
you're absolutely right, because he was one of those guys that made me cringe. I hated that we picked him up. I've been, you know me, you know it. I've been anti-Malcolm Smith for as long as possible. Before he ever took a snap for the 49ers, I was anti-Malcolm Smith. But he's put together a couple of nice games. He hasn't been a liability out there. And it's pretty good. He hasn't been that Super Bowl MVP type guy, but he's been playing pretty well out there. So I'll give it to him, man. I'll give it to him. All right, man. I think that's going to be it for us, man. Really quick, what do you think we do at the running back position?
For the future or for this season?
No, just for the remainder of the season. We know that Raheem Mostert's not coming back. We're not going to go through with just Alfred Morris and Matt Breida. So,
yeah, I mean.
All right, here, let me rephrase the question. Obviously, we're going to bring someone else in, so I shouldn't have asked it that way. In-house, someone already on the roster, or are we going to pick up a free agent?
That's tough. I mean, I'm on the same boat as you. I'd like to see Jeffrey Wilson be brought up and get in there. Do you know the status on Jeremy McNichols? Because I know we brought him in a little while back, but I also remember I read something about him signing with the Broncos, either on their practice squad or on their roster. I don't know which was the most recent.
I'm not sure either, but I do remember him signing with, I believe it was the Broncos, but I think he got cut also. So I'm not sure his status right now. But
one of those 2 guys is who I'd like to see be brought in.
That's not bad, and I would. That's almost a push. I mean, Jeremy McNichols is as close to an in-house move as you can make without him being in-house. So
very true.
I get that. He spent last season and part of this season with us this year. So I get that. All right, man. Oh, this was a lot of fun, man. Player of the game on offense has to be Nick Mullens, and with the second, damn it, man. There were a lot of good offensive players, man. I mean, Raheem Mostert had a really good game. 7 carries.
Mullens.
Huh?
It's Mullens.
Is it though? Like, Bro, Raheem Mostert, 7 carries, 86 yards, a touchdown. He had a 52-yard run, and he broke his arm. Come on, man. No sympathy points for that?
Hate to see it. Somebody mentioned in the live chat, didn't McNichols go to the Colts? Earlier in the season, after we cut him, he went to the Colts. He got cut from there. I think we brought him in for a workout, and then the Broncos signed him, and then they cut him, according to Mike. I don't actually know that one.
No. I think you're right. The cut that I remember was the Colts. That you're right.
So he might still be with the Broncos. I can't really remember. I'm probably going to go look that up after this because either way. Okay, somebody just said he's on the Broncos practice squad. So
yeah, that makes sense.
I trust you, whoever you are.
Yeah, that makes more sense. But Mostert, 7 carries, 86 yards. Nick Mullens, 16 and 22, 262 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, guys. No turnovers all night long. That's my 49ers, baby.
All right, I was totally ready to save this for the next time, but somebody brought it up in the chat, and I have to do it. Okay, who's the starting running backs next year?
Running backs? It's going to be McKinnon, Breida.
McKinnon gets the start over Breida?
Huh?
McKinnon gets the start over Breida.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Kyle Shanahan.
Real season Breida's had.
Shanahan went on the radio last week or this week and was saying that, yeah, the game plan drastically changes. They're not. He was like, I knew Breida was capable of doing what he's doing this year, but what we had planned with McKinnon was completely different. He's a lot more mismatches on safeties and linebackers than what Breida is. He said that recently. So, yeah, I still think McKinnon gets to start over him. I don't like it. You know what my thought was? I thought that if we're going to keep McKinnon, we should cut Breida because we don't need clones of each other or the poor man's version of one.
Isn't McKinnon's contract set up to the point that we can go ahead and end that after the first year without too much of a loss?
I think it was after the second year.
Okay.
I think it was after the second year. That was
not saying I want us to cut McKinnon because I think he's a valuable asset as well. But I would really prefer to see Breida in that starting role. And by the way, what did I just say? Because last year I was like, no, I'm not on the Breida train. I was a big Breida hater. So I am definitely willing to admit whenever I'm wrong, but I am all aboard the Breida train. I love it.
Let me give you a confession on the running back side as well. This is going to hurt to say, but since you just did yours, I'll say mine. And then, I was all about we need a bruiser, we need a power back, we need to get a guy that can pound the ball when we need it. Kyle Shanahan's offense is much more exciting when his running backs have speed. You look at Breida, you look at Mostert, what he wanted to do with McKinnon, and one of the reasons I like Jeff Wilson is that he's pretty fast for a big guy also. Shanahan's offense
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say Shanahan's offenses are way more fun to watch when he's got speed at that wide receiver. I mean, at that running back position. I want to see that more than I want to see the power back and slowly marching down the field.
For sure. I think in the future, even though we don't have a lot of draft picks to be working with this year, unfortunately, I'd really like to see us not use an early pick on a guy, just somebody that can carry it into the end zone if we need to. I mean, Alfred Morris has seemed capable of that, but Alfred Morris is good enough there in age. But I wouldn't mind bringing in somebody that could do something like that. But I'm honestly thrilled with the fact that Breida's been playing so well. I would love to see what McKinnon can do because you got to think about the vast opportunities Kyle had planned for that Jimmy McKinnon. Oof.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be fun. But listen, man, let's get up out of here. We want to thank you guys for checking us out tonight. Dylan, give everybody your Twitter handle before we jump off of this, man, if you want to.
Give me a follow and tell me what I was wrong about tonight. Tell me what I was right about. Talk to me about the draft, too. I'm always down to talk about that. Tell me your players that you want me to start paying attention to, and I'll see what I can do. Dylan Frazier 98, DILLONFRAZIER 98. Give me a follow. I'm always down to talk. I'll definitely respond whenever I get a chance. But yeah, thanks for coming in, guys.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. You guys can give me a follow on Twitter as well. My handle is 49ers Mike _NF. NF is a Niners fan. You guys can follow our main page. That is nothing but 9 ERS on Twitter as well. That is probably the easiest way to communicate with us. We respond to emails. We have nothingbutniners.com as well. You guys check us out there. We even have an email over there, nbniners@nothingbutniners.com. If you have questions, comments, concerns, feedback, anything like that, requests, guys, let us know if there's certain things you want to talk about, discuss, or any suggestions for any kind of content that you want from us. You guys can send those emails to nbniners@nothingbutniners.com. We appreciate it all. You guys be safe. Thank you guys for watching and tuning in with us. We won, baby. The 49ers won. Excuse my deodorant and armpits, but we won, damn it. I'm happy to see it. Let's go, Niners. Ah! I love it, baby. I freaking love it, guys. Prepare for glory, anticipate pain, but always remain faithful. We out of here. Peace.